Jeff Pulver, birthday bash. Jeff, thanks for coming all the way from Boston today. We've got some celebs in the house other than Jeff. Jeff is definitely a celeb. Where's Jeff Rago? Jeff, raise your hand. I know he doesn't like to be called a celeb, but he is.
Yeah.
One Love, Candyman, Eric Nash, raise your hand. Who's that? Right here, Eric Nash in the hand. And thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know for LA people it was a long drive, but I'll tell you, we've been promoting this thing and just wanted to show Jeff how important he is to the West Coast, because he just came out from the Boston 140 conference, and 140 is becoming part of my life. I just want to thank Jeff for everything that he's given me in the last year since I volunteered at the 140 Conference LA. 140 Conference is all about the real-time internet and communicating in real time with people from next door to around the world. And it's changing people's lives. So I'd like to introduce Jeff Pulver, the curator and founder of the 140 Conference.
Well, thank you, Bob, for doing this. I'd like to thank everybody who's crazy enough to come out here. And yeah, trust me, if someone offers to throw you a birthday party, you fly cross country too. But the 140 conference itself, how many people here have been to a 140 event this year or in the last year or so? Some of you. So for those of you who haven't, there's something that's going on in the social web that's beyond what you may think about really social media. What we've discovered, at least, is about humanity, and that if you allow yourself to connect with people, the secret to all this is that you're actually connecting to people's analog souls. And that maybe for the first time in a very long time, there's an opportunity for companies, brands, people to connect. And businesses that discover it's sometimes better to connect with love than with fear do much more business. And yesterday's conference in Boston was pretty spectacular. We heard stories about people's experiences and how the social web is affecting them. But while Boston was important to me, I like to bring forward someone who I met in May of this year at the LA meetup at the comedy store on Sunset Strip. A doctor who she deals with cancer patients, and I heard about this doctor who had a patient who wanted to go see a taping of the Ellen Show, and even though she was based in LA, she couldn't find tickets, and she goes on Twitter, tweets it out, and guess what happens? She got tickets. And I thought this was an amazing person to have, because this lady is running her own personal version of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. But when she came on stage in LA to share that story, something magical happened, and the conclusion happened this weekend. And give a loud round of applause to Crapelli. Come up here.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction. For those who were at the 140 conference in May, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Remember the patient who wanted to go see the Steelers play? Yeah. That dream came true this weekend. After that night, Jeff kindly donated flights.
Well, tell them the people who weren't there, what happened?
There was it was actually a colleague's patient, terminal patient. She wanted to take her husband to see the Pittsburgh Steelers play. She didn't have the financial means to. A nurse had told me about her wish, and I said, well, let's try to make it happen. I tweeted to a few airlines, a few hotel companies on Twitter. I heard nothing, but the following week I was asked to speak at the 140 conference about the Ellen Show. And I said, well, let me try this as a platform to see if we can maybe make this dream come true if I spoke about it. And at the conference, I told them that a terminal patient wanted to go see the Pittsburgh Steelers play, but they couldn't afford to. And right after I said that, magic happened. Jeff Pulver stood up. He donated his frequent flyer miles, so flights were taken care of. Where's Bruce? Bruce came up on stage, handed me a $20 bill, and said, let's get her to Pittsburgh. And then magic truly happened. I think every single person donated 1, 5s, 10s, 20s. I'm standing, over $400 was raised for this patient. I sat down stunned. The following day, Yahoo, a sponsor of the conference, emailed me, and they said, we'd love for the money to go to her as spending money while she's in Pittsburgh. We'd like to donate the hotel room. Another person emailed me and said, we'd love to donate the rental car. And then somebody in the hospital found out about what was going on, and they said, well, we know somebody who may know somebody who may know Lynn Swann, who happens to be a 4-time Super Bowl champion for the Pittsburgh Steelers with Terry Bradshaw back in the day, a Hall of Fame NFL player. He contacted me and said, we'd love for you to come, and we'll even give you 4 seats to the suite in Heinz Field. He personally came to he found us at the hotel, personally delivered the tickets, and hung out with us on Sunday during the home opener. And for this patient and her husband, to see her smile, and she even said, you know, these strangers who helped you get, I was even a stranger because I wasn't even her doctor. So when I first called her, she was like, who are you? And I said, you know, there's a group of people who you may not know, but who care about you and who want to get you to Pittsburgh. And she started crying on the phone. To fulfill somebody's dream, one of her last wishes before she passes, is so special. And for all of us to help fulfill that, it speaks volumes. And she said, how do we ever thank you? And I said, you know what? Your smile is enough. And so for that, I would just like to say thank you to the Twitter community. Thank you to the 140 conference. Thank you, Jeff.
So this is just one of the voices that you will hear at the 140 in LA. Because it turns out that, you know, while you may be focusing on technologies, what this is really about is humanity. It's really about people, and it's about connecting and understanding that there's something bigger out there besides maybe making a dollar. It's how to affect change.